In today's day and age, sex trafficking is considered the new slave trade. When a victim experiences sex trafficking, it has a significant toll on their mental health. Since 2007, more than 63,300 cases of human trafficking in the United States have been reported to the National Human Trafficking Hotline, which receives an average of 150 calls per day, says Polaris Project. Sex trafficking is the action or practice of coercing people into prostitution, pornography, or other forms of commercial sexual exploitation, usually involving illegal or forcible relocation, says Oxford Dictionary. To give you some background, I'm going to tell a story of a woman who has been trafficked before by the name of Tina Front. She tells her story as a former prostitute. She talks about how her boyfriend at the time brought her into this business. She said, "He took me to meet the family," which was just the other girls in the business as well. She goes on to talk about her time on the streets trying to find men. She said, "Our quota was $500 and I only made $50 that night to give back to the pimp. As a result, he beat me in front of the other girls to make an example of me, and then he made me go back out until I made enough money." Tina Front now tells her story and dedicates her life to helping women and children heal from domestic violence. She started Courtney's House in August of 2008. As you can see from her story, women are brought into this business in different ways, forced or not. This is one reason we need to fix this issue. To help solve this, the general public needs to be informed of the signs. We need to help make survivors known and initiate new laws to protect men and women from becoming victims. To get the general public to understand these signs of sex trafficking, they need to go through a mandatory course, online or in person, starting their 8th grade year until their senior year of college, onto their job in the workforce. This course will be called Sex Trafficking Awareness Course 101. This course will last over a 4-week period where the employees and students will learn to take short quizzes based on what they have learned throughout that week. Over this time, they will read and watch videos based on sex trafficking and people who have witnessed or even been involved in sex trafficking. Following this, the employees and students will have a final exam going over what they have learned. Over this course, they should learn basic facts of sex trafficking, how to be conscious of signs, how to report suspicions, and how to stay informed on this issue. To make people attend these courses, you must make them mandatory and take an end-of-course exam. To pass this exam, the employees and students must make an 80% or above to pass the course and continue doing their own research. A huge factor in sex trafficking is the survivors. The survivors had to go through such tragic events to get to where they are now today. To ensure these women's voices are heard, we need to make them feel more comfortable and believe in what they tell us. Most women who have been sex trafficked are afraid of other people's actions towards them, but more than that, they are afraid of the men's actions who did this to them in the first place. Victims are exploited in 4 main ways: forced labor, sexual exploitation, domestic servitude, and benefits fraud. Those who traffic people may do so by force or coercion. After going through this, women refuse help because they are scared of backlash from others. To help the survivors, the police need to believe what they are being told and investigate who hurt these women. Afterward, the law does not need to display these women's names for their own safety, and these women will feel safer and try to cooperate as much as possible. Other than making these women's voices heard, the government needs to initiate new laws to make women feel safer when working with the authorities. Governor Cuomo of New York City in 2015 put in a new law system that will help achieve equal pay, strengthen human trafficking laws, and protections for domestic violence victims and end pregnancy discrimination in all workplaces. These laws solely protect women who have been trafficked and help women who could be in danger of being trafficked. This law also adds eliminating the requirement that coercion is proven in sex trafficking prosecutions when the victims are minors, increasing penalties for the crime, and creates an affirmative defense in prostitution prosecutions if the defendant was a trafficking victim. This was stated in governor.ny.gov. This new law also makes it easier for victims of sex trafficking to receive support services and requires training for law enforcement to adequately address human trafficking crimes. These laws have also helped New York City because in 2014 there were 55 convicted sentences, 31 in 2015, 28 in 2016, and 5 in 2017. To help improve these laws, the governors need to add events to raise awareness to help women and men become more known of the issue and help survivors. Anyways, as you can see, these laws have helped New York City fight against sex trafficking. Other states need to enforce these laws to prove they are sufficient. These laws have made men and women feel safer in New York City and have helped them feel more confident when they are walking around the city as well. As the research has demonstrated, sex trafficking has become the new slave trade and it must be stopped now. To be stopped, we must let the general public know the signs, help make survivors known, and initiate new laws to protect women from becoming new victims. Making mandatory courses for the workplace and school, making call-ins of sex trafficking anonymous, and initiating new laws, such as New York City has, will help this enormous problem we call sex trafficking. To protect men, women, and children from this horrible issue, you can sign this petition to help end human sex trafficking. You can sign this at https://usiaht.org/petition/.